Welcome to Rising Woman Leaders, a safe space for women to thrive in community where their voices and stories are heard. We're a sisterhood supporting each other to live our dreams and embody the sacred feminine to restore balance on our planet. Join us each week as we return to the unconditional love and guidance of our heart and our womb. I'm your host, Meredith Ram, and I invite you to walk this path of beauty, devotion, and service with us. This week, we honored Mary Magdalene on July 22nd as her feast day, which was named by Pope Francis 8 years ago to be a day to honor her as the Apostle of the Apostles. Mary Magdalene is one of the goddess guides that we work with in the Way of the Priestess program that is open for enrollment right now and begins on September 13th, 2024. I think of the energy of the priestess as a vessel for the divine, one who is opening to become a channel, to receive intuitive guidance and wisdom, and then to, when she feels called, take action of what it might look like for her to serve in her community. For some, it's simply about becoming the frequency, letting our life become an embodiment of love, of awakening, to create this ripple effect that touches everyone around us, to be there for friends, family, community, an embodiment that we can really step into and share in our lives. And for others, we're going to be called to, whether it's leading women's circles in our community or starting a healing business, being of support to groups and holding space for ritual. Either way, I find it so supportive to have community support and guidance along the way. For us to say yes to our power, to see and reflect that for each other, and to be of greater service because of this sense of having other sisters who were really holding our back. It's important for us to really allow our spiritual lives to be a priority, to learn tools and skills to facilitate and to hold space in our community. So I'm calling together a group of women to begin this program for a full year and a day, beginning this September. We'll be meeting every month on Zoom, about 2 calls per month. We'll be moving through an initiation gateway each month. We'll be working with Ascended Master Guides like Isis, Mother Mary, Sekhmet, Inanna, Hathor, Mary Magdalene, Lakshmi, Kuan Yin, Kali Ma, Yeshua. And we'll have a whole month around Women's Circle facilitation so you can begin leading circles in your community right away. It's so powerful what can happen when a woman is witnessed and gets to cross the threshold into her embodiment as a priestess to claim this role in her life. On top of this, I also offer private sessions as part of the program where we can do deeper work of ancestral healing, rewiring core beliefs, childhood wounds, and even heal things that are related to our past lives. So if you'd like to book a call to learn more, you can download the program guide, risingwomanleaders.com, and you'll be sent that link to book a call with me to learn more about the program, see if it could be a fit for you to join us this year. I'll also include those links in the show notes. This is one of the audio recordings that I include in the curriculum of the Way of the Priestess program, and I hope you find it helpful, insightful, and it supports you on your path of service. I hope you enjoy. Over 2,000 years ago, a most amazing woman walked the earth. She walked by Jesus' side as his equal, his wife, his twin flame. Her name was Mary Magdalene. But that's not how she was portrayed. She was portrayed as a prostitute, a whore, a sinner, someone who was washing Jesus's feet in order to repent her sins and ask for forgiveness. But that's really a lie created to keep the role of powerful women suppressed. Women are powerful creators. We literally have the ability to create life within our bodies. And this truth has been threatening to man. In the first few centuries, there was even a pope who sat down with the other men in his clergy to take out stories from the Bible where the women were portrayed as powerful. They wanted to suppress the power of the women. But the truth is, Mary Magdalene was a priestess, one of the highest order. She had the privilege of anointing Jesus with sacred oils, a very honored act, which is what she was doing in that portrayal of touching Jesus's feet. Before Jesus was crucified, over 2,000 years ago, there was a prophecy that we would go through an age of darkness. There would be war, suffering, and it would be a very dense time. The world was not ready for Mary's teachings. She feared for her life. She had to be careful about speaking out or being seen for fear of being stoned. This has been carried in the cellular memory of many women. The fear of stepping out, the fear of speaking our truth, and the fear of being visible. This fear is real, and it goes back to many women in ancient history who literally feared for their lives. I myself have carried this fear for much of my life. I remember the first time I stood in front of a group as a yoga teacher to speak. I was terrified. The thought of being that seen was incredibly vulnerable, unfamiliar, and scary. But we are healing this wound now, and over time I have felt safer and safer to be seen. We are healing this wound with sisterhood, with support, with lifting other women up, with women's circles. Women's circles are actually the place where I have gained comfort in sharing my voice, where I have shared my truth and been accepted just as I am. It's a place where I felt safe to be seen in my emotions without any need to apologize for them. As women, we are feeling safer to step out and be seen. The more women we see doing the same, we begin to feel the support of other women behind us. It is so much easier to feel safe and step out. This is just one of the reasons why I feel called to create community through the Rising Woman Leaders podcast, the programs for women that I lead. There's always this element of sisterhood because it is so sacred and so healing to be seen, supported, and uplifted by other women. Just look at what is happening in our society now. The women are rising up. The truth is being revealed. Women are supporting each other and sharing their voices, their truth. Women are taking a stand for what they know is right. Look at what is happening in Hollywood. The patriarchy is being challenged. Women will no longer be silenced. Women are stepping forward to share their truth, their gifts, and to take the lead in sharing their voice. So what is happening collectively right now? The earth herself has been going through an ascension process, and the time is ripe now for us to receive Mary's teachings about the divine feminine. A ray of light representing the divine feminine has been washing over the earth, and the wisdom and teachings of the divine feminine are now open and available to us. But we must open our hearts. We must be willing to feel. Otherwise, these blessings will rain down upon us, and it will be like holding up an umbrella. They will run right off of us, and we won't be able to receive them. We've needed to wait 2,000 years for the time to be ripe for these teachings. We are so blessed to be ready now to receive these messages for our highest growth and ascension, so that we can pioneer the movement of the divine feminine energy, taking her rightful place again in balance to the divine masculine in our culture. We are so blessed to be alive at this time, and I feel a sense of urgency in sharing and spreading these teachings with the world. We have been so out of balance. Society has been built up around a sense of achievement. We were taught to suppress our feelings as children. We were trained in school to develop our mental abilities at the expense of our feeling. We were taught to avoid and devalue our feelings because then we would be easier to control. We were able to then serve a system to obey authority rather than listen to our own hearts. And Mary wishes us to heal, to come back to our hearts and to be guided by feeling. Now is the time of the rise of the Divine Feminine. Now is the time for the rising woman leader. Sister, now is your time. I am one of these midwives birthing this new paradigm. I am listening to a deep calling to be a teacher and a leader in this movement. Perhaps you are feeling this call too. I gather together teachings that I have learned from Mary that I feel would be the most supportive and beneficial for you on your path of divine feminine leadership. The first teaching is about pain. Our pain is actually a gift. It is a difficult medicine, but it is here to support us in our growth. I used to think other people didn't experience pain, that there must be something wrong with me if I'm feeling so much emotion and pain. Other people must have it figured out. They must not experience what I experience. But the truth is, we all experience pain. Even the people you look up to, the ones you think may be perfect or moved beyond it, eventually it does get easier to navigate pain, but it is an inherent part of living in this third dimensional realm. Most of us have been cut off from our emotions from a young age. We were punished for having tantrums. We were consoled. Oh, don't cry. It's okay. Our emotions are inherently powerful, and they can make people around us uncomfortable. So we were subconsciously conditioned to suppress them. And part of our greatest work right now is reopening to our feelings. Our feelings are a gift from God. They are the pathway for us to understand our own inner divine qualities. They are God beckoning us to reconnect to Source. They also serve as a warning signal to show us where an important value of ours hasn't been fulfilled. They are a message for us to come back into greater alignment. Feeling your pain will actually save you much time in the long run. Emotions are energy. When they are not felt, they don't just go away. They are repressed, and they show up in other ways. Over time, they can show up as depression, which is really just a numbness of feeling our feelings. It can show up as physical pain, sickness, or disease. These emotions need to find a way to express themselves. So why don't we engage with feeling? Well, first, many of us are afraid the pain will never go away if we really open ourselves to feel it, or that it will be way more than we can handle. But actually, the opposite is true. I was numb to much of my own feelings growing up, and when I was in college, I started to develop a lot of physical, chronic pain. And it wasn't until discovering yoga and being encouraged to feel the pain, not try to fix it or get rid of it, but to rather open to it, feel it, bring it into my heart, be in the discomfort. That was when it began to transform. That was when I eventually found relief. And not only did that process offer a huge gift of relief from the actual physical pain I was in, but it also reconnected me to my body's wisdom, my intuition. Underneath all the unfelt emotions was really important guidance that was calling my attention. Mary offers us a process to reconnect with and feel in times of difficulty. The first step is to open to your pain. Feel it. Let go of any stories about others and who did what to create that pain. Your pain is your own. Come back to your feelings. Be with your heart. Give yourself as much time as you need. Ask God for help with the pain. Angels and guides are always here for us, but they will respect our free will. When we ask for support, the support will always come. Ask that you move through your pain with grace, that you'll be guided for what is needed for your highest good and for the highest good of all involved. Rest into the feeling of the pain. Merge with it. Allow it to expand. Feel it in your heart. Relax into the physical sensations and the emotional feeling of it. And when you have opened yourself to the feeling and the merging with the pain, allow the pain to take you to Source. Inquire, what divine qualities are at the source of these feelings? For example, if you're feeling hurt, let's say a friend made a mean comment to you. Through feeling the hurt, you may discover an innate divine quality for care and protection from your friends. And then you can just sit with those inner divine qualities of care and of protection until you come to a place of peace. Those divine qualities are within you. You can come into a place of wholeness within just through the recognition and awareness of your needs and values. The next step is just to experience a shift into peace. Reconnect with God. Allow your actions, when it does feel time to act, to be guided from God. From here, perhaps there is an insight from your higher mind, and this is really the divine masculine that comes in, the higher mind, that can offer insight and ideas on what to do next. Your divine masculine qualities are here to help you create those new possibilities, but only after the feelings are felt. Most of us are stuck in our lower mind. The lower mind is running the show, and we go into reactivity and blame. It's a way of avoiding feeling our own pain. The great work now is to let go of blame and to claim what is ours, our emotions, and to feel them. Opening back up to feeling is much of what I do in my private coaching work with women. I use tools such as the Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as tapping, and matrix re-imprinting, where we actually go into memories and use the tapping with past version of ourselves to heal these memories and to heal the core beliefs that were created at that time in our life. Often these are what are keeping us stuck or held back in living with our full potential. I use these tools to support women to remember and come back to their own innate divinity. Now, with the process of feeling our feelings, Mary also teaches us about forgiveness. But if you try to forgive others before you have fully felt your feelings, it's going to feel like pulling teeth or climbing Mount Olympus, which is something that Mary has described. Being hurt is different from thinking that someone has done something wrong. Wrong and right are fabrications of our mind. They are ideas that have been created to try to get people to do certain things that some people want them to do. Can you imagine living without the thoughts that some things are right and wrong? And this is a quote from a book about Mary Magdalene, a channeled work from Mercedes Kerkel. If you didn't have the idea that something was wrong, you would simply be left with your hurt. This would support you in turning your attention to yourself and your own process, rather than wasting attention and energy on your thoughts about others. Then you could simply be with your hurt, giving yourself over to the process of feeling. I'd like to lead you through a guided process of forgiveness now. So wherever you are, you can take a comfortable seat, or if you have the availability, you're welcome to lie down. And call to mind something in your life where you might be feeling hurt or anger or resentment. Maybe there is this feeling of someone did something wrong to you. So call that to mind and just notice and acknowledge that something has affected you. If you notice you are judging the event or person as wrong, bad, or inappropriate, redirect your energy to your own feelings. Ask yourself, what do I feel? Perhaps it is hurt. Perhaps it's a feeling of isolation, aloneness, sadness. Maybe you feel surprised or shocked. Maybe there's despair or grief. And now experience those feelings. Surrender fully to them. And this process may take more time than what is available here on this recording. You're always welcome to go deeper into this process in your own time. So through the feeling of your emotions, through surrendering and merging with them, you can then ask yourself, what inner divine qualities does this lead me to? Perhaps you value a sense of safety, protection, or inclusiveness. Allow yourself to feel that. Receive the gift of your open heart and understand your own beautiful qualities, your own divine attributes at the source of your pain. Allow yourself to open to union with your own sense of safety, protection, and inclusiveness, or whatever the divine qualities you discover about yourself. Feel them within yourself and welcome God into this experience. When the emotions are fully felt, and you find the connection with the inner divine qualities, forgiveness naturally happens, because then our heart is open. We are at a space of wholeness and of peace. We're reconnected with God. And only from that place can we then open our heart to the other person, to connect with their divinity, the beauty, whatever was motivating them to do what they did. You can ask, what divine qualities may this person have been acting from? Even if it caused me pain, what was it about them that they were acting from, that they were seeking? And then you can open to them in love. See the divine qualities in the other. Then you can forgive. Forgiveness becomes a natural emanation from the heart. It's not forced. It's not something we should do. It's something that comes from an open heart. And it comes from a place of having felt your own hurt, your own emotions. And only from this place can you then listen for what actions may want to come from it. Perhaps you do want to communicate your process with another. Maybe you want to set boundaries. Whatever it is, what's most important is coming back to your own wholeness and union within. In true forgiveness, you'll feel the unity of your heart and soul with this person. It's very liberating, but it's also important not to confuse forgiveness with denying pain or denying that you have experienced hurt. It is most important to feel that, to allow yourself to merge with those feelings. And only from that place can we reopen our hearts to love and connection again. The second teaching I wish to share is about abundance consciousness. This is an area I've been bringing attention and focus in my life to consciously shift from a perceived reality of lack and scarcity to one of abundance and possibility. I really do believe so much of what we experience related to money, finances, and resources has to do with the core belief systems we developed growing up in our culture. Most of us have a perceived sense of lack about the world. When we haven't received the care we needed from ourselves or others, we tend to feel there isn't enough, and we become driven to compete for what we perceive as limited resources. Competition is based upon the assumption of lack. There isn't enough for everyone, and therefore some will get what they need and desire, and others won't. That's the idea that we've been holding. In order to make a shift, we must tap into the ultimate source of abundance, the divine, to have the ability to shift into abundance consciousness. Mary would say, there is enough for everyone, but to realize this requires a grand shift in consciousness. You will realize abundance when you make the shift, and to make the shift, you must assume this abundance. It takes trust or great faith to do this. We do not need to play into an either-or society. We don't need to keep and hoard all the abundance for ourselves, and we also don't need to be a martyr and only give to others while sacrificing ourselves. The first form of abundance is with this self, assuming there is enough to have what we need. Abundance consciousness invites us into a state of inclusiveness, which requires that we love and give to ourselves so that we have access for loving others or giving to others. No one needs to be excluded, not ourselves and not others. One way I've been practicing abundance consciousness is through uplifting other women in my field of work. In my podcast, I am constantly featuring other women's work. My old paradigm or belief system may have said, well, if I'm constantly promoting what other people do, how will there be enough to go around? How will there be enough for me? But what I've seen is that choosing to uplift and support other women in this field of work has only increased prosperity for the both of us. It has been a real testament to the idea of abundance consciousness. Not only have I grown in beautiful, nourishing connections, relationships, and collaborations, but I have also watched my work grow naturally and organically as I continue to feature and uplift other women in their work. The sacred feminine assumes abundance, the infinite abundance of creative potential, and infinite abundance of the divine itself. A baby assumes complete abundance. A baby doesn't think there may not be enough milk for later, so I should save some and not drink it now. The baby simply is aware of its hunger and cries for the milk. But you may wonder, what if there actually isn't enough milk? And this is when the sacred masculine quality can come into play. We can make use of the creative intelligence open to us and find other sources of food, find other sources of what we need. It's valuable to have both, the grounding and the belief of the feminine abundance, and also the creative fuel and power of our own manifestation abilities. One way you can see if you are acting from a place of scarcity or abundance is in your interactions and relationships. When you give, is it more transactional with an expectation to receive? Or when you make love, do you give to the other with the expectation to receive in return? Or when you have a conversation with a group, are you allowing enough space for everyone to be included? As we ascend in this paradigm, more and more of us will wake up to the ideas of inclusivity, that there is enough and it is safe to provide and nourish for ourselves. And then naturally we feel a desire to uplift and give and nourish others. Mary's teachings provide a path to us that is an embrace of all of life. She reminds us that our bodies are sacred. Our emotions are pathways to God. The last teaching I want to share with you is about our body as a beautiful temple. Our body is beautiful and divine in all its forms. It is our sacred duty to care for our body lovingly, to eat the right foods that will support our energy and our life force, as well as having enough movement and exercise to feel open and strong in our body. Our body communicates the beauty of God and really is a temple. We can adorn ourselves as such. And with this, we can also know that our sexuality was also a gift from the Creator, and it can be used as another form of communion with the divine. A practice I use almost daily to commune with my body as divine is self-oil massage, or some call Abhyanga. It is a way to honor and love every part of your body. So you can use coconut oil or sesame oil. Perhaps you'd like to add essential oils to that oil, and just lovingly rub the oil all over your body, working through every part of your body. You can even say loving words to your body as you do this practice. It really does create a luxurious experience of loving and honoring yourself, of taking care of your body. I thank you for being here today, taking this time to be open to receive these teachings. So for now, beautiful sister, I welcome you to use these practices to take care of your beloved heart, your feelings, your emotions. May you open and love your body. May you open to the ideas of an abundant universe. May these teachings be of service to you on your path of divine feminine leadership. May you be blessed as you walk on this path. May your heart lead you to a deeper and deeper knowing of your own divinity. And may you shine bright with this light to everyone around you. I'll bring my hands to my heart and bow with gratitude. Namaste. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. If you liked it, share it with a friend or leave us a review on iTunes. You can also follow along on Instagram at Rising Woman Leaders and sign up for email updates at risingwomanleaders.com to be sure to receive all the new and inspiring content. Thanks again for being here. It's an honor to walk this path with you.